All right. So welcome to Intro to Fusion with a special Halloween twist. Thank you all for coming. For those of you who may be watching online, I will preface this entire thing by saying that I am by no means an expert in Fusion, but that I have found some ways to make it a little more accessible for complete beginners, and I know some ways to kind of introduce it in ways that I think are effective. So please do not judge me if I do things not the same way you would, and potentially not as good as you should. Today we're going to be making a parametric skull, and that is going to be, it's going to serve absolutely no purpose besides looking cool and being able to be modified around to look cool. So in Fusion, you have a lot of different tools, but the kind of workflow you want to think about is this workflow over here, which is sketch, do something, sketch, do something, sketch, do something. You should pretty consistently be creating sketches and then doing things with those sketches. So what is a sketch? A sketch is a guideline of which you can use to then create something like an extrusion or a sweep or a revolve or some kind of 3D structure. So what we're going to do first is we're going to do a create sketch right up here in this top left. You're then shown three little panels. You're shown the XY plane, the ZY plane, and the XZ plane. I think that's the, yeah. We're going to start on the XY plane, so we're going to click that. Fusion is going to automatically align our view with here, and you can see this grid here. And all these different options on the right for things that you can do. What we're going to do first is really simple. We're going to draw a circle. Over here, there's lots of options to create shapes, like rectangles, and arcs, and ellipses, and splines. We're going to draw a center diameter circle. Oops, I didn't click the origin. You want to make sure you're clicking right at that origin point where that little square pops up. You're going to want to click right there. And we can just make it some arbitrary width. We don't have to worry about that. But look at that. We've got a circle. I hit escape to exit. Now if I wanted to dimension this circle and actually make it a specified width or diameter, you can hit D for dimension tool. Otherwise you can hit it up here. Hit D. And I'm going to drag this out to the side somewhere where I can see it. And we want to set this diameter to, say, 80 millimeters. And you can type in any unit and it'll automatically do it. So if you type in 80 feet. Oh, we didn't like that. Feet. Whoa. Way too big. Whoa. We don't want it that big. That's stupidly big. Let's go back to millimeters. Okay. So we've drawn a circle. Now, if we were going to do something, we might want to extrude that circle. So I'm going to hit extrude, and I'm going to say 5. But I'm not ready to extrude our circle yet. I want to make some more parts of this profile before we do that. So there's one thing that I missed, which is that you should always name your sketches. So I'm going to double click on this and say head profile. And another thing is that we should click on this and actually finish creating the profile of our sketch here. So click that top view. Now we're making a skull. We're making a skull from the front. It's not going to be like truly three-dimensional. It's going to be more like a extruded cross section. So what I'm going to do to create kind of the cheekbone, I'm going to say arc. Let's say 3-point arc. I'm going to grab somewhere over here, go somewhere down here, and then kind of make it go in a little bit. Look at that. Now we've got a nice little jawbone. I don't quite like how that is, so I can drag this a little bit to different points to get it to be a different shape. Same with this. And same with this. I think if you grab this, also adjust it a little bit. Let's go back. But I like that. Now, you could create another 3-point arc, which again means that you're essentially drawing the 2 points where it's going to go between. Like you could do something like this, and then draw out the radius of that. Or you could do a mirror. Now, when you do a mirror, it's going to prompt you to click your thing that you're going to mirror. So you're going to click the object, this being that line, and then a mirror line. Now, unfortunately, you can't just click this middle axis. So before we do a mirror, we're going to draw another line. It just goes from the middle to the bottom, somewhere. It doesn't have to connect anything. It doesn't have to do anything. We're going to click that line. We're going to hit construction. It's just a nice way to help us know that this line serves only the purpose of helping us define what our shape, what we're using in our shape to make it to make it symmetrical, or make it radially symmetrical. A construction line is a guideline. So we're not gonna finish the sketch yet, we're gonna do mirror. We're gonna click our jawbone. We're gonna click the mirror line. And look at that. Now we've got a jawbone. And I've hit finish sketch. We'll go back into the sketch window. But I just wanna show you something that even outside of the sketch window, I grab here, look at that. It's mirrored. Anything that I do to this one will be done to this one, and vice versa. So let's go Control Z, back to how it was. Actually, I kinda liked it a little wider. And I will walk around and see where everyone is. You're installing Fusion, that's okay.
Also install this in Fusion.
That's all good. Okay, Alan's got it. That's all right.
Also because I know everything in Fusion.
Yes, Alan has already used Fusion.
Are you a pro?
Alan, is Alan a Fusion Pro? Alan, are you a Fusion Pro?
No.
Okay, that's okay. That's what we're here for. So now let's finish the bottom of his jawline. And let's do another arc. Let's do another 3-point arc. Let's click the 2 bottom points here. Give him a little jaw.
Little smiley boy.
Yeah, perfect.
Exactly how you draw.
So, everything is symmetrical and constrained. Well, mostly everything is constrained. We're not going to get into constraints today too much. We drag everything around, you can see we can configure this. That's the great thing about Fusion is that everything is now related. So let's put it back to where it was and just hit Control Z to go back to where it was. Let's hit Finish Sketch. I like this. So now we've got a sketch on this XY plane. Let's extrude it. Let's hit this Extrude button, which allows us to click these profiles and specify some distance for them to raise up. You can see we can click them individually, we can unclick them. We want this whole thing to go up. So I'm gonna make it go up 5 millimeters. And if you ever wanna edit that value, or switch between how many millimeters it's going up and how many degrees of rotation it's going, you can hit Tab. I'm just gonna say 5 millimeters. Look at that. That's kind of the basic outline of a skull. And you might be kind of curious about how I'm moving around so fluidly. It's because I have a little space mouse in my left hand. Alternatively, you can also just grab and rotate around like that. Cool, I like that.
Sorry, you keep using the terminology sketch. Like, is a sketch supposed to be like put onto a piece of paper and then you're supposed to like?
So a
'Cause I know that
sketch, a sketch in Fusion you can think of as something that's on a piece of paper, but that you can then make that piece of paper into a 3D object.
Okay.
Which means that you can sketch on any face or any geometry as long as it's like planar, I think. So if I was to like sketch on, or oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Exit. Finish sketch, we're gonna delete that. Like, I don't know how well it would like it if you tried to sketch on, say, it's not even letting me click this curved face here.
Yeah.
You would have to make at an angle.
Exactly. You'd have to make a tangent plane some point here to do that. So you can think about it like any flat or planar surface that you see here, we can sketch on. And that's actually what we're gonna do next. We're gonna create a new sketch, but on this face. Now it's still aligned and parallel with that top view, so it's essentially the same thing as if we had created a sketch on the actual bottom plane that we did earlier. But what we're doing now is we're actually doing this sketch with respect to this face. So everything we do after we've sketched it, it'll treat this face as the origin point, which is good because it means that if you have a face way off in the right of your model, it's not gonna get mad at you because it's gonna let you do stuff to it right there. Let's draw the eyes. Now this is one of the most fun parts about Fusion here, is that if we do another circle, anywhere, doesn't matter where, draw a little circle, and draw another little circle. It's kinda hard to see on this model because it's a little, the contrast isn't very good. Let me see if there's a way I can make it better. Let's make the skull black real quick. I'm just gonna go to, really quick, I'm gonna hit finish sketch. I'm gonna modify appearance, and I'm gonna do, it's gonna pull up something, potentially, yeah. I'm just gonna grab I'm gonna do nylon, just like a generic dark material. Fusion Appearance Library, let's just grab that. That helps a little bit, yeah, cool. So now let's reopen Sketch 4. I'm gonna rename it to Eyes. Beautiful. So you might ask, how do I make these symmetrical? How do I make these the same such that if I do something, they'll do the same stuff? We've drawn 2 circles. Let's make them equal. So we're gonna go to this little Constraints tab up here in this sketch window. We're gonna hit Equal, Equal. Now, they're the same size. We can do the same thing if we say Symmetry. Click U, you. And I think, no, actually, let's do, it should be parallel perhaps? No, what did I do earlier? Did I mirror these? No? I may have mirrored them. What did I do? Perhaps,
And I broke my browser.
oh no.
It's fine.
Symmetry, symmetry. Let's draw a little, I wanna see if that symmetry tool works before I try a different approach. Let's do this. I just made a line down the middle, I'm gonna make this a construction line. Let's do the mirror command, or the symmetry command, do you, and then you. There we go. We drew an axis down the middle, and we said mirror these two objects, and now we have a symmetrical object, meaning that not only is it gonna be symmetrical in size, whoa, big eyes, but also symmetrical in position. Way out here. Do like this. And that's all we need. Now another thing we can do is we can dimension one of these and say that it's 20 millimeters. And then if we change it to 30, the other one will reflect that change. Let's leave it as 20. We'll come back to that in a minute. Let's hit finish sketch. We sketched, now let's do something. Let's extrude these eyes, but instead of them going outward, like say this, let's have them go to object, and then click this back face. Check that out. They're gonna subtract from our model up to this rear face. Alternatively, kind of the noob way to do this is just to go yoink, and now they're just going through. But if there was something below here that you didn't want to extrude, you could just hit up to face, or up to object, and it'll only go that distance. And this also works if you have a curved plane that you're trying to extrude up to. If you're extruding onto something that's all kind of messed up geometry, and you say up to part or up to object, it'll fill in automatically and connect it with it as it should be. Pretty good, right? And if we currently our sketches are hidden, if we re-enable this sketch, we can actually still drag these around and change their size. Although we can't change their size because I configured their size to be 20. If I had left that blank, then we would have been able to, but look at that. We can do all kinds of fun stuff to this and just drag around and play with it and find something we like. So let's drag them back around here. Now let's make the nose. The nose is gonna be pretty easy. Let's create a new sketch. Again, on his face. And let's go to this create menu. And you can see that we can also create polygons. Let's do a circumscribed polygon and just, I don't know, let's hit this point right here. We can make it big, and that's a hexagon, it's not very good. We're gonna hit tab, we're gonna hit 3. Now we've got a triangle. And you can align it so that it's like this, or I think it's more likely like this. Look at that. Got a triangle. And if we had wanted to, we could make it so that we could constrain it. Actually, I forgot to name it again. Nose profile. We went back into nose profile. Pretty sure we can make it so that it's only horizontal and vertical. Which means that if we move it, it's not going to do what I wanted. That's okay. I'm not heartbroken about it. I'm still learning constraints, so we'll leave that for now. But the point is, we've now got a nose. What are we gonna do? We did something, we sketched. Now we're going to extrude. Extrude to the back of his head. And it didn't work. Why did it not work? To the back of his head. Let's try that again. We're going to extrude this to the back of his head. And it's not subtracting anything. Oh, that's interesting. Apparently, I originally sketched it on this bottom plane. I didn't mean to do that. But no matter, because we click this face, and we're good. So that's all pretty simple. You know, we can move our triangle around a little bit. We can make this, we can make this side bigger and what have you, and we can grab these points if we go back into nose profile, and we drag this down a little bit, all kinds of stuff. Right now it's centered on this middle axis. It's too big of a nose, so let's bring that in a little bit. Now we're gonna make the teeth, and the teeth are gonna be a little tricky. So let's do a new sketch. Oops, I forgot to click the front plane, new sketch, front of his face, and then I'm just gonna draw a little rectangle, you know, simple little rectangle, something like this. And I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna say okay yet. I'm gonna draw another line that's going from here out to the side. And I'm gonna make it a construction line. Cool. We're not done with our sketch yet. Now, we're going to create a rectangular pattern. Teeth are a rectangular pattern, right? So let's unclick that. We don't want to make a rectangular pattern out of our construction line. We want to use the construction line to make our rectangular pattern. So let's click the different lines of our tooth.
How'd you get to rectangle pattern?
It's under the create window.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna hit directions. I'm gonna hit this. And look at this. Pull out some teeth. We can also pull down some teeth. And you can see right now that it wants us to do 3 on this axis. We're gonna make that 2. And then pull it back up a little bit. And then if we look at this other axis, we grab this, say 4. And we want 4 teeth going out like this. Let's make them like that. Cool. Now, if we might need to create another little mirror line, unless we revisit this one, in which case I can still reference that. Can I still reference that middle line? No, I cannot. Let's just draw another quick little mirror line, just right down the center of his head right here, and make that a construction line just for our own clarity. Let's do a mirror, select all these, select our mirror line, got some teeth. And then just for my own sanity, so that there can be a gap in between these teeth when the time comes, I'm gonna draw a rectangle that kind of connects these outside-ish points. We'll get back to that in a second. Well, these teeth I think should come out a little bit. So let's do an extrude. Let's extrude all these teeth. Oops, I clicked the main face. Don't do that. Okay, extrude all these. You might be able to hit extrude on the whole sketch. As a matter of fact, let's try that. Instead of doing that, let's do extrude, sketch 7, or no, it's sketch 7, extrude. That didn't work. Oh well. Let's do, oopsies. I keep clicking that main face by accident. Zoom in a little bit. It's a little flashy, I apologize for our photosensitive viewers. Let's click all these. Actually, undo these sketches, that might help. Yeah, that did help.
You can also tell if we turn off bodies and that should help.
I could do that, unfortunately. I've already finished. I would have done that probably. That's probably a pretty good idea. Let's just extrude these out a pretty small amount. That's too little. Let's do let's just do 1. Sure. 1 millimeter.
Oh god, the pixels, the crying.
Why is that happening? I have never seen that before.
That's cool
That is
shit though.
interesting.
I've never seen that.
It didn't extrude, I think. Oh no, you reset.
I reset, yeah. Let's see why that happened. If I try extruding again, what would happen?
It might have been indicating an overlay was happening. Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
I've never seen this before.
That is.
It could be because of my surface. We're just gonna hit OK. Interesting. Fascinating. We got some teeth. Let's do another really quick extrude. Remember, we made this gap in the middle. Let's extrude that, again, down to the bottom of our object. And for some reason, it's not working. We're doing that. Oh, it's because I'm doing the start. We want to do the end to end here. There we go. That's why. What is that? That is so fascinating. I've never seen that before in my life.
Is it making a candy skull?
Kind of. That's what I'm going for. Kind of
No,
making a.
It was like making like.
It was just drawing some lines that were kind of
Yeah.
going to these points. Anyways, look at that. We've got a skull. Now check this out. We've made our skull. If we go to modify, I'm going to change parameters. Let's define some parameters. Let's just call it eye width. And it doesn't let us do that because you're not allowed to have spaces. And it's in millimeters. Let's say 25. Cool. We've got a parameter defined here. Think about it like a variable you might use in programming. Let's go back to our eyes. Let's double click this. Type in eye. We can now make this a variable that we can change outside of our object. So if we go to modify, change parameters, what happens if I turn this to 40? Whoa, too big.
Oh, that's actually really useful.
20.
Parameters are fun.
Oops. Yeah, let's just do 20. And if we defined another dimension for, say, our nose profile, like we said dimension this to this corner, and said that this is, actually here, let's do, I might be thinking about this wrong. Let's go to modify parameters. Let's say nose width. And say that that's like 10. And then close this, go to our nose profile, double click, and then say nose width. Is that going to work? It did! It did work! So we have two variables now that we can configure. And the same thing happens for if we did our rectangular pattern in this sketch. Although I don't know if we can actually reference, oh no, we can. Can we reference this? Yes! We're gonna edit our rectangular pattern. Let's say quantity is 4. Let's say we're gonna change parameters. Teeth amount. Oh, I need to say, let's do 3. We're gonna double click on this little rectangular pattern icon, and instead of quantity, we're gonna say teeth amount. It doesn't like it. Why doesn't it like it?
Because you said 2 millimeters instead of quantity.
Oh, let's do that. Let's actually change that. That's a good catch. What was the unit? How do you change it to quantity?
Oh, is it?
I think it's only length.
I think it's only. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, no, you did trend.
Let's make another one. Let's try unit. Here we go.
Oh, it's way down there.
Currency?
What?
Interesting.
Yay, capitalism.
Yes. Is there an amount one?
It looks alphabetic. No, it's not alphabetical. You know what? Shot in the dark. Try currency.
Currency. No, there's gotta be like an amount one. The point is, if you manage to find a way to parameterize that, you can parameterize everything. You can make this is there a quantity one? Hold on, quantity.
Go all the way down. Viscosity.
Is there, if we do no units, and we say the expression is 4,
34.
does it not let us?
You forgot the name.
Oh, name, oh yeah. Let's do teeth amount. Let's just see if it's like no amount. Let's see. Teeth amount? Yeah!
Oh, okay.
And now, if we finish our sketch, check this out. Modify. Where is it? Parameters. Teeth amount. 2. It's calculating. Didn't happen. But I think if we went here. Interesting. Why didn't it change?
No.
Did we never save this to be teeth amount? Did I say okay?
Oh, what? Oh, no, it did. It just popped in.
And then if we do modify, change parameters, let's try doing teeth amount again.
Huh, wait a minute.
4. There we go. It's just it's messing up because I individually extruded them. But you can the thing is you can parameterize everything. Now check this out. If we view all these sketches again, because we did our homework, we can make this skeleton look however we want to, except I can't drag and do anything for some reason. There we go. Big chin.
He looks like a pirate now.
True. Did I define the
You
did I
define
define
the
the width this? Let's undefine this. Try that again. Whoa! Go back in time a little bit.
I actually like that design a bit. That's
It's kind of like from Coco, you know?
yeah.
And then, you know, if there were any other parameters. Whoa! Big teeth. Now, to make the skull white as a bleached skull would look, if you remember I went to appearance earlier. I'm gonna go to appearance. I'm just gonna type in ABS. And it just happens to be white. We're gonna go to ABS white, we're gonna drag, we're gonna drop. Look at that. If we close this, we can see it's white, but if we go back to the appearances, we can double click on this ABS and we can change it to basically anything we want.
Is that only with the ABS?
No, you can use any material. I just like using ABS because it's like a nice base material for me. So like we've got kind of like a turquoise skull now. Now, the fun part. You may have noticed I haven't done any kind of geometry except for extrusions. That's because you save fillets and chamfers for last. Let's fillet some stuff. Let's fillet his eyes and his nose. You're just gonna click on every line that you want to fillet. Just drag. Look at that. A beautiful Blender people would call this a bevel. Let's
Save them for last because they're doable.
so here's the thing.
You want to do them?
I've failed to mention one of the most key things about all these softwares, all these CAD softwares. So you can go back in time. You can go back in time and forward in time and make changes and rearrange things depending on if they can be rearranged. So if you didn't like something you did here and you wanted it to cascade all the way down without like, dragging out all these different sketches like this,
That's stupid. Okay.
I've defined it, but like this timeline is crazy. So I could go back before this chamfer and then do something, or this fillet, reapply it.
Oh fuck, it's like stacking but with physical objects.
Correct. Add a little chamfer to the outside. Looks kind of nice.
Okay, but seriously though, this looks like a pen that you can sell.
I might. Let's chamfer. You can't just chamfer edges. You can also chamfer faces. Oopsies. Oh no.
Oh no, oh no.
Don't get too click happy. Let's chamfer some faces. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Gotta be precise. Teeth, 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 teeth. Oopsies.
Can you select one row and the symmetry will affect the others, or do you have to select them all while doing this?
I'm sure there's a way to do that. I just didn't set it up right for that. Look at it. Now I've selected all these teeth. Oops. I almost selected that edge. Oops. Yeah, something like that.
Oh my god, no, you made a zipper.
I made a zipper for teeth. Now, something else that I failed to mention is that let's say that in eyes, we didn't make a second eye. We just had the one, right? And now the fillet's getting back. It's like, where's the other eye? There was another eye here, and now it's gone. We're gonna delete it. So if you want to mirror something, but you didn't do it in the sketch, that's okay. We can do a solid mirror. I can click, instead of bodies, features, click the eye, click the mirror plane, and because we made this symmetric about the origin, we can do that. Look at that. And the same thing if we went back in time would apply if we applied a chamfer to this first, or a fillet. Oops, too much. What? I selected the bottom by accident as well. Let's unselect that. Let's just do this top. Just drag it. Now we hit OK. If we go forward in time, well, see, it didn't mirror every feature because we only selected that inside face. If we do, instead of that, this, and yeah, do we know we do that? Oh, I didn't like it. It hated us. Why did it hate us? Let's try the mirror again. Mirror, you, mirror line, plane, you, okay. I think it's because I'm missing that interior face.
Yeah,
Sort
that
it again.
Might-
You, oops, oh no.
Don't mirror the entire back face.
Yeah, no, not good. Mirror plane, there we go. Now it should work.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, there are a ton of other tools in Fusion that I want to teach you about real quick. Let's create a sketch on the bottom plane. Let's just make a random circle that goes around this. Cool. Great. Now, if we were to look at the front of this, create a new sketch on the front plane, and say, for example, find the very corner of this, just draw a little circle. Hit OK. Now, if we were to take that circle and do a sweep, we can click the circle, we can click the path. We've got a circle that goes around our skeleton. Alternatively, we could also get rid of the circle. Ready to go. Get rid of the circle. And instead of doing that, perhaps we create a sketch on the front plane that is like tangent to this little edge right here. Just zoom in a little bit. You can also do the use command or the project command. I'm gonna hit P, click this, hit OK. Now I can reference that corner right over here. Draw a little circle, hit OK. Check this out. You can also do a sweep like this. Let's do a sweep. Profile, the path. Right now it wants to cut this out. We don't want it to do that. We want it to join. And if we undo chain selection, we should be able to select more than just this one path. Let's do this path, and this path, and this path. And for some reason we cannot click this last path. Let's try that again. Let's do a sweep with, oops, this profile, this path. We'll just say it's okay. Join, hit okay. Look at that. And if we edited the size of this, made it bigger, our little path will be bigger. There are lots of tools in here that are very useful. Another thing we can do a sketch on, say again, bottom plane. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's hit finish sketch. We're gonna delete this. And I'm gonna do sketch. I'm gonna sketch it on the bottom plane, but I'm gonna flip it around so we're not actually looking at it from the bottom. So I wanna create this text as if it's on the top. And I'm just gonna say, create text. Draw a little text box somewhere, you know? Andrew. Say the height of this is like something lower, make it a, oops. We did it too early. I'm gonna go to bodies, hide my body, double click on that so we can edit it again. Let's just center these. And let's say it's actually like 2 maybe. Okay. Finish sketch, review our body, and check this out. We can do a emboss. We click the sketch profile, that being this text. If it'll let me. Unless it won't. Faces, click this face.
Okay,
It's
you
a
just
text.
put that in. That's cool.
Now something else we can do is it doesn't have to be a flat face. Let's do more text. Let's do a new sketch, text, this plane. Let's do text, Andrew, 2 millimeters. Okay, check this out. We have an Andrew in the middle of our model here. We do create, emboss, click this face, and it will curve it to fit the face.
That's not cool.
Oh, that would have been so easy for one of my, oh, if I knew.
Okay. All right. I have shown you the tools. I will now come around and help individually. Thank you for watching. I hope that this is a helpful introduction to Fusion. And as always, thanks for watching.